Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jamie, and I'm accompanied here with my brother, who happens to just be visiting for this video. I had a question from subscriber user Dazzle Effect. She wanted to know about legal research, what you do in school, and what's the best ways to find what you need to know. Um, there's so much out there and so much to do that I really can only cut to probably two of the most important ways to research. And then I'll give a little corollary to outside of law school. First, and this guy's funny. First is that when you do legal research, what I've always found to be the most helpful is to search for relevant statutes. So in other words, if you have a legal topic of interest, go ahead, Google search up and see if you can find the related statutes in the jurisdiction that you're in, the state, or if it's federal or international, whatever. You might even find some law review articles or some other posts when you Google search it. But the point is that when you find related law review statutes and things like that, you actually are able to take that information and then go into Lexis or Westlaw. I prefer Lexis, but that's an aside. And when you pull that statute up, as a law student, you usually get free access. You can see underneath the statute all the cases that cite to that statute. And for me, that's been always one of the fastest ways to get what I need to know, is to go ahead, look at the statute, find the cases that are relevant, and usually there's little short blurbs about those cases, and then you can look at that language and see if there's any keywords or terms to pick up, because usually there's the key terms underneath it to search from. And these days, Lexis and Westlaw have gone to Lexis Advanced, Westlaw Next, so they're pretty much going toward a Google plus wiki style searching format where you can pretty much just search anything with natural language. So the main thing is, do a little background research. As I said, search it through Google or whatever internet search provider you got. Look up the statutes, see some relevant cases, take the language, and then once you got the language down, then you could do more specific searches that you'll learn how to do if you're in law school taking one of those classes with your Westlaw rep or your LexisNexis rep. The second thing that you can do that is really, really helpful, most people don't think to do this, is that most law schools open to the public have free library training seminars and sessions. Exactly. So if you go to the website of a law school, just think of one that's close to you, you can usually find PowerPoint slides and video presentations in their research center that will drop calculators. No, that will pretty much, looking at it right now, have everything from American legal history to election law, estate planning, just basic guides, even to how to research and different types of research tools. So just go ahead and if you're really struggling trying to find what you want to use, go to some law schools' websites, look at their library research center, and chances are the librarians actually have something there for you that you can look up. And very often, especially if it's a public school, you can even ask them a question, and they'll answer it for you. Just email them a specific question, and chances are you might even get an answer as long as it's a public institution where generally the library might be open to the public normally during regular hours. So to me, those are the two, I think, best tips you could possibly have for doing initial research. Google and take the statutes to put into Lexis Westlaw, and then get research help from the libraries. Look to see what presentations they have, ask librarians questions. And the corollary is what do you do when you're kind of out of these materials? And that's these days most attorneys will say you just use the internet the best you can, and look up law review articles. If you are confused on something, chances are these days you can almost find a law review article on anything, just on the internet, or even attorneys that post on things. So you can go through there, read through what they got, put together an idea of what's going down, and take it from there. So it's not that crazy. Legal research isn't as esoteric as they make it. I mean, there is this ordering system for how you do research in the library, but that's kind of being phased out as it is. Of course, to save money, you can still do that, but for most people's purposes and for all practical reasons, you're going to be using the internet, you're going to be using law school websites, you'll probably be using some sort of subscription service if you're in law school. So I hope that answers your question, and thank you for asking again, Dazzle Effect, and I will talk to everybody else later. And so thanks, Jess, for visiting on.